All right, guys. Injuries from the game. Ben Barch went out with an ankle, didn't return. Isaac Grendo went out with a foot, didn't return. Go ahead.
What's the extent of Corendo's foot injury?
We're not sure. Possible foot sprain. X-rays didn't for sure show anything, so we'll have to look into more tomorrow.
It's a high ankle sprain, is it? Or is it?
Yes. Yeah.
How much did you guys just need that right off the bat to just jump out to the 24-0 lead after what's gone on the last couple of weeks?
A lot. I mean, losing that close one at Seattle in the last play at home was so tough, and then the following 2 weeks were as bad as it got. So we had to step it up today. Wanted to play well. I thought we did play well, and the most important thing was getting a win, and we got it done. So I was proud of the guys, the way they came out and the way they finished.
That's offensive rhythm you think this team's been into the first half especially?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that first half went pretty well. So, having, I think, over 300 yards in a half, and I think our defense gave up 2. So I don't think anyone in the league's done that in half this year on both sides. So it was a hell of a first half.
What did you think of the way Isaac played before he got hurt, and how consciously were you trying to take advantage of his receiving skills? Those 2 catches obviously helped.
Yeah, Brock got to a check down on that first third down. He was waiting on Kittle to get across the middle, and that's who I was watching. And then he went underneath to Isaac, and they just dropped him. So that was a huge play. But I thought Isaac looked real good today. Ran hard, affected the game in the pass game, and hopefully we get some good news on his injury. So I had mixed emotions on that last drive. It was nice to be able to go on a 14-play drive to finish it with a touchdown and kind of put him away. But it was tough losing Isaac there.
Difference offensively today? It seems like you've been waiting to have this type of a performance all season.
It's just how it went. There's not like an answer on this compared to the rest of the season. Guys played well, stayed on the field on third down. Thought we got the run game and the pass game going. I thought the defense kept getting us the ball back every second in the first half, so it was easy to stick with it, and momentum's contagious, not just on the offense, but all 3 phases.
Were you a little anxious when the roughing the passer when Brock stayed down for a little bit?
Yeah, always when any of our players are down. But they talked to me in my headset and stuff, and by the time he got to the sideline, they told me it was good, so it was short-lived.
What did you think
Well,
of
kind of
Fonda's
asked similarly
first
to
game
what
back?
I was going to ask, but one of the themes this season between you guys and the players is we need to play complementary football, and it did seem that everybody was firing on all cylinders in all phases of the game today, and I wanted to know, did you think that was sparked by the offense? But you kind of just said that you feel like the defense, well, you said they kept it going, so do you think it was sparked by the offense, and do you think that's how you keep that going for the rest of the season?
We got the ball first and we scored, and then our defense got it right back to us, and it kind of went that way the whole half. So, I think maybe our second series we did punt, and when the defense stops the team 3 and out right after that and you get it right back, then you quickly forget about it. When you punt and they go down and tie it up, the whole game gets changed. So it's all complementary football, and the guys were in sync today.
What did you think of Hufanga's first game back, and what does his presence do for the secondary?
I was just pumped to get Huff out there in uniform. We weren't sure how it was going to go this week with him being back for practice, and we thought he looked real good. And then when he told me he had the confidence he had to play on Friday, I was pumped to start him. So just to get him out there, I thought was just the emotions of it. I thought sparked our team. It looked like he played real well, just from what I saw live. I'll see more on the tape, but just the type of guy Huff is, and getting him back out on the field with us throughout the week, and then in that game, I think fired our guys up.
You mentioned the other day that before Christian got here, you've been pretty plug and play with your running backs and be able to use different guys. For Isaac to step up like he did, and Patrick Taylor came in and got a touchdown. If Garendo is hurting, what can Taylor do for you?
I think you guys saw a little bit today. When we given Patrick runs, going back to the preseason and in practice, he's a good runner. He hits the right spots. He runs hard. So he's a guy who can definitely help us. And, he had some big carries, I want to say, versus Seattle. I think it was when JP went out and he was spelling Isaac, and he had to spell Isaac today. And when he went in, did a good job on all his opportunities.
Would you say that really like a raw guy, but after those 2 tough games, even 3 tough games, as you mentioned, of the Seattle game, did you feel the need to speak to your team about keeping the mood up, or do you just sense that it was going to happen anyway?
You mean after the game?
Like going into this week.
Yeah, every time you get in a meeting as a coach, you want to figure out something that's going to affect the players. And when I say affect them and make them practice better or play better, there's very rarely some special words that changes how guys play. But we did talk about the importance of this, where we were at, regardless of the result. I wanted to make sure that we came out today and just showed grit. We wanted to fight, and these last 2 weeks just not making it a game was something we weren't proud of. And we were ready to battle today, regardless of how that went. It went as good as it could. So, I mean, the win was awesome, but I just wanted to make sure our 10 and how our team worked were ready. And you could tell in the meetings last night, guys were ready for this game, and it came out and it showed.
What was the message to the team, and do you think you can carry this momentum into Thursday night?
I hope so. I mean, momentum, we feel good right now. We played well. It's going to come fast, and the only way we're going to really enjoy today is if we take care of business on Thursday, and then we'll have 3 days to kind of enjoy it and come back and deal with our last 3 games. But if you don't take care of business on Thursday, not much to celebrate about today. So the main message in there is how proud I am of the guys, and now let's go home, get to sleep. Those guys take care of their bodies tomorrow. We'll put in the game plan tomorrow, and we got to come in Tuesday ready to go because we're 48 hours from a game once it happens.
I feel like you were in a rhythm as a play caller. It seemed like you were calling things we haven't seen that much, like zone reads and tight end screens.
I mean, called some tight end screens this year. Zone read we hadn't, but that's just more of a scheme thing that we thought it looked good, and couldn't believe Brock didn't hand it off. But once he pulled it, I think that was a good decision too. Just we had to overcome that holding call, which we didn't and score, but I thought we did in the second half.
That's great. You said you wanted the guys to come out and play with some grit. When you think about the fact that Malik Mustafa took a hard hit, looked like he was a little rattled, came to the sideline, went back in, and he was the guy that broke up that play with Ozunde, or I think that's how you say his name. When he broke that up, if he wasn't there, that could have been a touchdown, obviously. But then also the grit behind Brock Purdy, taking a hard hit, coming right back a snap later. Can you just speak to the resilience of those two guys?
Yeah, I mean, grit's is such a roundabout saying, but we got gritty dudes all over our team. We got as tough as guys as there is. I just wanted our team. We haven't been able to battle and finish a game when things have gone bad there, and that's what I wanted to make sure, just the whole team, that we're going to play with grit and show that. Not necessarily as individuals. I know we got gritty dudes all over, but when you have your backs against the wall like we have had, that's when it's your opportunities to show that your team can still play with some grit. Your team can have some resilience, and when we've been in those situations this year where we needed to, we haven't. I think we've done it a lot in the past, so we know how it looks and we know what it feels like. But the opportunities that we've had this year, we haven't got that done. And I just wanted to remind them that this year's not over, and today was an opportunity to show that, and that's not something you can do as an individual. We got gritty dudes, but as a team, that's collectively, and everyone's got to be kind of, say psychology is contagious, and you try to think like one and play like one, and I felt that today from our team.
Last week, there's been some rumors over the interwebs that you could be traded to Chicago, and John called them comical. Do you have a word to describe those rumors?
I don't know why they come out, but I don't want to be any place in the world more than here, and my family feels just as strong, if not a lot stronger. So, I hope you guys are gonna have to kick me out of here. So there's no way I'm making that decision.
Without McCaffrey, Bosa, and Trent, that's 3 captains. Do you see other leaders, kind of younger players emerging as somewhat as leaders?
Yeah, I think we've been needing that all year. When you want to be a leader, it starts with what you do on the field. It's got to be genuine, and when you have a certain way of playing on the field and you're out there and you do things, guys will start to look to those guys as leaders, and then it's kind of how you carry yourself and what you do in those moments. And I think we've had a lot of guys on this team, going back to even week 1 till now, that weren't, that didn't expect to get a lot of opportunities, maybe when we drafted them or back in training camp, and they've gotten opportunities fast. And that's, I think, one of the positives, that there's a lot of guys that we do believe in, that I do believe are getting better each week, and hopefully they're going to be good Niners here for a long time.
How valuable is it to have a guy like Isaac with that kind of speed, but also enough size to run inside?
I don't get how you can do one without the other. So if you could just track guys to run the speed plays and big guys to run the other plays, then that would be easy, but you can get hit wherever you go. So you better be able to run outside, inside. You better be able to lower your pads and take hits, and the faster you are, the better, as long as you can do all that other stuff.
You run that screen pass to Kittle, the 33-yarder on the first drive before, and then just how well was he able to exploit the defense?
It was good. We caught him in a zone dog, which helps because they were matching all the guys down the field, so there's only kind of one guy looking at him. Got scarred a lot back in the day calling that because especially people like KJ Wright, they would just sit and stare at Kittle every time he blocked. So as soon as he'd catch it, people would drill him. So sometimes it's hard to get screens to guys who are really good at it. But, you know, that was a good play to open it up. Got it versus the right look. And when you can get George the ball versus the right look, I think everyone sees how explosive he is. And we just give him some crap for getting tackled inside the 5 twice. But he was unbelievable today.
Brock had, had the bum shoulder against Seattle and then had to sit out. And it was in a snowstorm. I mean, it's kind of difficult for him during that 3-game losing streak. Did he stay kind of steady throughout? Did you sense any sort of frustration?
Yeah, I mean, normal frustration. I mean, we want to win, and Brock's as competitive as anyone I've been around. So, you know, he was real disappointed about the Seattle game and how they got away from us at the end. And then for him to come in Monday and feel the way he did was kind of a shock to him and to all of us. And it didn't respond very well that week. And so he wasn't able to come back versus Green Bay and get that taste out of his mouth. And when he did versus versus Buffalo, that wasn't a very fun game for obvious reasons. So he's been battling. He's been awesome in practice. He's been great in the meetings. And I was real happy for today because it seemed like he played his ass off and he was decisive in everything he did. And he's always a competitor.
On that second challenge, were they already in the replay review, or did you throw the flag to try to get them to do the replay? How did that all work?
Which one?
You threw the challenge flag on the second time.
The low catch or the fumble? The fumble? No, once they said it was an incompletion, then we saw on the scoreboard that he threw it backwards. So then I just threw it and said it was a fumble, and I think they overturned it anyways after I did that. So got my challenge back.
After a couple of cross-country road trips in inclement weather, how much did you feel the home field advantage today?
I mean, we always feel a home field advantage. It's so nice to not have to use a silent count and to be able to use our cadence and tee off on the ball and everything. You know, we don't mind going on the road. We've been able to play in loud environments. We've been able to play in cold weather. Doesn't mean we prefer it, but we always love being at home and can't wait to be here in 4 days. All right, thanks, guys.
Kyle mentioned that during the week he kind of brought up it's important after those last few games to show some grittiness, to show what you guys know about yourselves. Did you feel that, and what do you think was shown today?
Yeah, I mean, we just got back to being us, honestly. You know, the product we were putting on the field the last couple of weeks just wasn't us. We knew that. You know, we had a great opportunity this week to come out at home and right those wrongs, right, and get back to playing our style and doing what we do best. Complementary football all the way through. The way the offense came out and scored right away, and then we went out there on defense and got those stops early on and played, you know, a great half of football. Obviously, there's things to clean up in that second half, and but we just got to build on this win.
Did you feel like that sort of performance was coming, like that you practiced well Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, that this was sort of natural to be the result of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was coming. Everything was you know, coming along. I think even in the last couple of weeks, even though it didn't go our way, we practiced really well in those weeks. It just didn't translate onto the field, and today you saw it translate with execution. You know, when it mattered most.
To carry this over to Thursday?
Yeah, extremely important. You know, we talked about we just wanted one win. You know, that was the goal today, to just get one win, and then now obviously we got that, and it's the same mindset this week, just one win, right? Thursday night against a divisional opponent, and we gotta win in the division. We gotta win all these, honestly, but it's just about one game.
It was great to see the defense fight like that in this game. How does it feel for you personally to know that Thursday night when you take the field that you may have Dre back?
Oh, yeah, it means everything. You know, I've been waiting for that moment for the entire season, right? And so to potentially have him out there again with me, it means everything.
It was mentioned by people, some of the leaders addressed the team, you know, this week just because of the circumstances. Obviously, you were among them, big surprise. But, I mean, also Brock Purdy, maybe that's not anything unusual. Or tell us, is that what he said, was that unique for him or his message?
Yeah, I mean, I think the message across the board from, you know, all the guys, whether it was Brock or myself or all of us, honestly, was just to fight, you know, for one win. It was everything today. You know, we treated it like a playoff game, and that's what they are going forward. You know, every game means everything, you know, and so we're just treating it 1 week at a time. It's a 1-0 mentality, and it's just one game coming up. That's our entire focus.
Did you check to see what the Cardinals-Seahawks score was and what the Rams are? Do you start after these games now wondering what your stature is in the standings?
Yeah, I mean, we got an eye on it, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of business on our end, and we have a great opportunity in a divisional game coming up, so, that means a lot.
Do you see some younger players? I mean, Brock's a captain, but do you see some younger players? I think Juan mentioned Dion whenever speaking. You see some guys like kind of rising up and being a little bit more vocal and being leaders?
Yeah, no, I mean, you said it. Younger guys, even though those guys don't seem young, in the way that they carry themselves, the way that they played, those are younger guys that we need, that younger leadership to kind of step up now and use their voice, right, in the moments we need it most, and they have, man, and it's just about executing on game day. All the rah-rah speeches are great and all, but at the end of the day, you got to go out there, you got to play.
All right,
Thanks, guys.
To respond with a big performance today.
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, just where we're at, and every week matters so much. We all know that. So I think just the biggest thing was, just getting some energy and momentum. This league is hard. It's tough, and if you don't have momentum or energy, man, and belief within a building, it can be really tough. So for us, I think that was the emphasis today, and I think we got it. So.
I'm sure it wasn't just you, but you were mentioned as someone who said some things to the team. What was your message? What do you think the mood of the team was going into this game?
I mean, we said some things. Just I was just trying to keep it real and remind guys, this isn't easy. This job isn't for everybody, but who we have in this building, we have what it takes, and we've shown that the last couple of years, and we just got to dig deep and find ourselves, and I think we did. I think guys responded to it, and really I was just talking to myself too, not just trying to preach to the guys, but remind myself of how hard this thing is and how much of a competitor you got to be for 4 quarters and go and take it. Nothing's ever given to you. So it was just a reminder to myself and to our teammates of where we're at and where we're trying to go. And a lot of other guys, or some other guys spoke, and I think we all feel it, man. We want to win for each other at this point. So yeah, it was last night. Yep.
You guys offensively today, it feels like you've been waiting to have this type of a 60-minute performance all season.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just all executed, did our job, and kept it simple. I don't think guys were overthinking anything. We just, whatever was called, we trusted in Kyle, and we just executed. And I think it was just more of our mindset. We were aggressive. I think everybody across the board. Once we scored, defense got a stop. We go back up, put some points up on the board. They got a turnover. We scored. It was just, that's team football, man. And I think it just all starts with our mindset. So something that we've all been talking about a lot more around here, but today we just went out there, we executed, and we played aggressive more than anything. Kittle, I mean, he's a baller. I mean, you get the ball in his hands like that, and he can get all the yak after, and he's just so explosive, dude. For where he's at in his career to continue to put up those kind of numbers and be that dominant, it's a pretty sweet thing. So obviously, I'd like to get him the ball in space and let him do his thing, and that's what he did today.
You mentioned momentum. How important is it to use this as a springboard for Thursday night?
Yeah, it's huge. But, I mean, it's a quick turnaround, that's for sure. So we just all got to get healthy, get back on track, and come back out Thursday with this kind of mindset of, playing aggressive and doing what it takes for 4 quarters. And I think, the game will go how it needs to go. But for us, man, our mindset is the biggest thing. We got to clear this, not get too high on it or anything, and learn from it. And come ready Thursday for – it's a 0-0 game and a clean slate. So.
Will you describe the clothesline hit and the pain that you felt and what you were dealing with?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a weird hit. My body was in an awkward position, and for me, never really been in a situation like that, so I was just sort of in shock. I felt some stuff within my body, and I was just letting myself cool down. That's why I went out for a play and just making sure I was being smart about it, and I was fine. My body was good, and went back in. And I'm good. So.
Did you hear the crowd when you came back out onto the field?
Yeah, I could hear them.
What's your reaction? I mean, are you able to appreciate that moment, or is it laser focused on what's happening?
I mean, a little bit of both. Obviously, I'm trying to go out and do my job and execute, for our team, our organization, our fans, and everybody. But just hearing them, sort of have my back like that was pretty cool, man. I love playing for this organization, for our fan base, and every time I step out in that field in Levi's, man, I'm very thankful for it. So, love playing for our fan base.
What were you expecting? The ball was coming out, on time and rhythm. Guys were, our guys were just wide open. Nothing that hasn't happened for this season, but for a sustained period. I mean, did it feel more like 2023 in some ways?
I mean, it's just sort of how the game went, man. I think, Kyle did a good job dialing up some plays and for us to just go out there and just play, and guys, we just trusted in each other, man. Just when I threw the ball to JJ or George, there's a sense of trust that we all have and where they need to be. And I think, last year going back and watching a couple of games, it's like that. There's a lot of times where, I go through a progression and I lay a ball and expect a guy to be there and they're there. Like, it's just getting those reps and those trusts to continue to grow together. And I know it's late in the season, but it's never too late to continue to work on those things and grow. And I thought today we just did that. So.
What were you expecting on that one misconnection with Ricky? It seemed like you guys were on a different page there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to keep it a little bit skinnier up the field, and then he saw space, so he sort of cut across. And, I just threw the ball early and sort of anticipated, and I missed him. I think his decision on, going across the more middle of the field was a great decision. If I would have laid the ball right there for him, it would have been a touchdown. So something that he and I, we talked about, and I told him, I was like, we just got to keep growing together and learning each other and seeing each other in and out of cuts. And but that's something that I missed on him. He executed his job. Thanks, Jeff.
Howdy.
Did last night's team meeting stand out to you? I mean, you've been part of a lot of team meetings.
Who talked about the team meeting?
Kyle.
Shanahan did? He would talk about his own team meeting. That's crazy. What'd they say about it? And then I'll go off of them.
Well, apparently a lot of people spoke, and that some people who don't usually spoke.
Aren't you an author? Ooh. Dang. Fell into that one myself. But yeah, no, you know what? Kyle doesn't always have players speak or spoke, however you want to say it. But he used to, when he was first starting off as a head coach, he would have vets talk about things that were important to them and why they play the game. And he hasn't done it for a while, but he had Demo got up and talk, and Demo's not really. While he looks loud while he's on the football field, he's much lead by example, lead without the way that he plays. But when you give guys like that an opportunity to speak in front of the team, it means a lot to everybody watching, to everybody listening, to everybody in that room. And we all respect and love Demo, not just how he plays, but he's a great teammate. He shows up every day. He works his tail off, and he plays the game the right way. And for him to speak, and then also for Brock to get in front of a team, which he doesn't always do, but this for him to talk, and it doesn't really matter what they say. There's no magical rah-rah speech or anything like that. It's just the fact that it means enough to them that, when Kyle asks them to speak, that they say, yes, I would love to speak in front of the team. And so I think just that in itself definitely motivates the boys. Coach Kittle's my father. What's up?
Well, maybe you can follow in his footsteps, but I have a question. When it comes to complementary football, you've been one of the main guys kind of talking about the need to play that way.
Yes.
And today you guys played that way. I asked Shanahan about it. He said, he said a lot, but he also said this season's not over. So how does a game like this kind of galvanize you guys to kind of feel that way, knowing you're on a short week headed into the LA Rams? Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. You only missed 2 questions, and then you're walking right in front of her as she's asking a question. Now I'm distracted, Eric. How do you show up on time? It's crazy. No, I feel mildly offended. You know what? I would say the last couple of weeks, it just hasn't felt like we've been playing Niner football, whether that's flying to the football, the turnovers, converted on 3rd down, the energy. If we just kind of not felt like ourselves, and really just wanted to play off of each other. Hey, offense, you take care of what you have to take care of every drive, try to score, don't turn the ball over, and defense will feed off of us, and then vice versa. And you kind of felt that, we go out, did we score on our first drive? All right, we score on our first drive, defense comes out, crushes them. We go down, I think we punted the next one, but we just started really starting to roll right there. And, I was pumped. I thought Coach Shanahan called a hell of a game, but then at the end of the day, I think we executed a hell of a game too on offense. And when you just put those things together and our defense gets 6 sacks, that's pretty awesome. Love that for the boys. But we're finally playing team football, and I thought our special teams played really well. And just when you're playing the team football, that's the Niners football that we want to put on tape. And I thought the guys really responded well. I was really pumped too. Sad for Ben Barch. I don't know what his injury was, but I thought he played really well last week against Buffalo. But I thought Spencer Burford came in and played really well too. So the offensive line was playing well. And how about Juwan looking great out there?
Your first catch was a 33-yard 50-yard screen.
It was.
You guys run that play.
In the last 5 years, twice. At the most, yeah. Probably like 2021.
How did that show how you were going to exploit the Bears defense?
Just the defense that they've had, and like every time we've played against like because Eberflus was with the Colts when we played them in 2021, and then they've been with the Bears, and like they do a lot of stuff with their defensive ends, how they stunt. They do all these pirate stunts to try to increase their pressure, and we knew that if we could catch them in one of those on a screen, that they'd be completely out of whack. And I don't know if we caught them on the first one, but the defensive end just played completely upfield, and our offensive line did a great job blocking for it. But just the way that they got upfield, kind of like how our defense does, we just thought we could exploit that, and I thought we did a good job of that.
What were your impressions of Isaac Guerrero today?
Say again?
What were your impressions of Isaac Guerrero?
What my first question was when he was like when New Year's going to start, I was like, how well can he catch? Because that's a big thing in our offense, and I think he proved that today, that he can catch like that one down in the sun. You could not see anything in that corner, and he caught that, which was awesome, and pumped that Brock gave him an opportunity on that, and then he ran his tail off. So all I've been preaching to Isaac is, hey man, just run really, really fast and hold on to the football, and you're going to get a lot of yards, and I thought he did a really good job of that today.
It's probably simplistic to say, like, when it's a tough season, the way the team plays at the end is a sign of whether it believes in what's going on. But today, was that a little bit of a sign that everybody in that locker room still believes in what's going on?
I mean, we still have everything in front of us to play for. I know like certain things might need to happen, but if we win every single game, I think we put ourselves in a very good position to either win the division or somehow sneak our way into a playoff contention. And I thought, everyone just focus on this 1 week. Hey, everybody lock in, forget the whole season. Like whether you've played like crap the entire season, whether you've had missed opportunities, whether you have a bunch of touchdowns, whatever it is, flush all that and just focus on this one game. Put all your time and effort and energy into this one game, and then we'll live with those results. And I think the whole team did that the entire week. I thought we had a great week of practice. Everyone was dialed in, and then we ran to this game and, ran the heck out of the ball. Brock found a rhythm. Our defense was on fire. So just like playing team football. And, I definitely think everybody in the building still believes, our coach staff is excellent. Coach Shanahan dials up great game plans, and our execution day was, I thought, really, really well done. And so if you can just combine those two things, our offense is pretty good.
George,
Yes, Eric.
first of all, just as a Dorinda was an accomplished high school wide receiver.
Oh, I don't do those scouting reports. I just say hi to all the rookies when they show up. Oh, thanks. I feel bad now.
But so you in 2018, you were very close after the first half to the all-time, single game receiver.
I was 4 yards off, yes.
That's unfortunate to get it.
Yeah.
Were there any thoughts of that record?
I had no idea how many yards I had until someone told me, like, when I got pulled out in the fourth quarter. So I thought I was sitting at like 80. I didn't realize a lot of those went for like 30 plus. So that was really fun. That's a fun surprise to have at the end of the game. No, never do. Can't, man. Just try to stay locked in each play at a time, man. Don't trick me into that.
Isaac, did you sense, he obviously has the physical skills, he's got incredible speed, as Eric said, he played receiver in high school, but
Yeah.
his first start, did you see any, how was his mood, his demeanor like today?
Totally fine. Nothing that would stand out of the ordinary. I think he's done a really good job as our backup running back the entire season. When he was splitting reps with J.P. Mason early, I thought he's been really good. He just shows up. Bobby Turner does a great job of getting those boys locked in. They're all prepared for all the protections, all the runs, all the routes, everything. And so when you are that prepared by your coach, you go into every game confident because you're not worried about anything except for, hey, I know what I'm doing on this play, run really fast, get downhill.
Is there a unique value in a guy like that size, 220 pounds, I think, still run as fast? That seems like
When you run a 0.01 seconds faster than Raheem Mostert, you're doing something right. And then you throw a little build onto that too so you can take some hits. That's all great. We just got to keep running him, and so he gets more and more confident in both his ability and in our offense, so he seize all the lanes and stuff like that. And just really happy with his performance today. And then when Pat came in at the end too, I was so pumped for him too to score a touchdown.
George, we don't ever see you demand the football, but after last week, you did mention that you didn't get to run that many routes, and when you did run the routes, you felt open. Do you feel like Kyle got the message?
Last week to our game plan, I thought I was going to have 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, and that's just not the way it happens. And I very much believe in the football gods. If you just go out there and you play your best, no matter what happens, receiving wise, that the ball's going to eventually find your way. And I kind of think that's just what happened today. And I try to be as reliable as I possibly can for Kyle and this organization. And, Kyle just called the plays today, and I found myself open on all of them.
With Ricky,
Relax. Jeez, you're next.
with Ricky, he's obviously missed a lot of time, and
Yeah.
he and Brock were on just different pages on that one misconnection. You're obviously close locker-wise to talk to him. How do you keep his confidence high when he's not getting the stats and not as involved as maybe he'd want to be?
What's great about Ricky is that he hasn't brought that up once. He shows up every single day to practice and in the building with a huge smile on his face and is very eager to be in the meetings, very eager to get on the practice field and just go run routes. And, which kind of stunk was like this practice, I'm pretty sure you guys were there in OTAs and Ricky had like 150 yards a day just cooking people. That was his week of practice this week. He had like 100+ yards a day, running great routes and stuff like that. So, I think when you're young and this is a very complicated offense with a bunch of alignments, formations, aiming points and stuff like that, it just takes a while to find your groove and like you don't want to think too much. And so I think he's just finding his stride in that. And the more reps that we can get him in practice, the more routes that he can run, he's just going to get more and more comfortable because he's a freak athlete. He can do all the great stuff. He can make great catches. He can break tackles. He can make guys miss. So I think just give him a little bit more time, and I think you're going to see some pretty awesome games from Ricky. Not worried about him at all.
George, in the last month,
Yes.
you've been targeted 18 times. You've caught 16 of the 18. Do you feel like you and Brock right now are, I don't know, maybe at a different level as far as your communication, that you guys are really maybe the best that you've ever been as a combo?
Yes and no. I think Coach Shanahan he's calling plays, and when you call plays and you guys right against certain defenses, that's how you just end up wide open sometimes. But I think Brock does a really good job about, hey, I'm going to throw you the ball whether you're open or not, and I love that from Brock. And he sees the coverage and he knows that, hey, while I might be the third read like on the gameplay, hey, if it's this coverage, I know that he's the first read. Like you saw in the 3rd and 7 where he just kind of hit me right over the middle and I was able to kind of fall forward for like 10 yards. Like that play, he's supposed to go like 1 to 2 to 3 and he went just 1 right to me. And so I think he's just very comfortable in this offense now, and I've been running it for 8 years. And so it's fun to be back there and know that, hey, I know in this coverage I'm getting the ball no matter what. So when I turn my head, the ball hits me in the chest and I got to go rumble, bumble, and stumble. But yeah, I think we're pretty much in sync right now. It could be an Iowa thing. I don't know. Is this 3 questions? Holy cow. $20 a question. Remember I charged you $40 to tell me facts the other day? Or is that you, Cam? You owe me 40.
You said you expected 100 yards and you had a chance last week.
Well, I expect that every week, but last week specifically, yes, I did.
Were you expecting that? Were you factoring in a blizzard? Like, did you expect to have?
I was waiting to have the best backyard game of my life last week. I couldn't wait. Just doesn't happen sometimes. It is what it is.
Okay.
4 questions? Oh, a 4th question. Only if you say please.
So, please.
Yes, ma'am.
When it comes to this team, obviously you guys have always talked about playing for each other.
Yep.
But you guys have experienced tragedy
Yeah.
this season. And then to also see Christian McCaffrey post on social media and say, this is just not my year, knowing how hard he's taking that because of how much he loves football. In that conversation where the leaders spoke, was that part of the conversation and wanting to play harder for each other than you guys have earlier this season?
I think the message was we need to play with more of a sense of urgency and play desperate because you just haven't really sensed that. And I've been on teams where it felt like, was it 2 years ago we were on whatever, like 8-9 game win streak, whatever that was. And it literally felt like every play people were just scratching, clawing, and fighting for everything. And I'm not going to call anybody out. Like we've all like not taken a play off, but just not fought our hardest on every given play. And that was kind of the message, like, guys, just put it all out there. Because we have the players, we have the playmakers, we have the play call, and we have everything to win games. But, we have to do it out of desperation. And when you're playing desperate and you're playing like, hey, if we don't win this game, our season potentially is over, that desperation fuels guys in different ways. And it's just how you take that and how you channel that energy. And I thought our guys did a great job of that today.
Thanks, George.
Thank you, guys.